Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Fitra Challenge with the brother Muhammad. If you remember, Assalamu alaikum, brother Muhammad, Juma
Walaikum
Mubarak.
assalam wabarakatuh. Yeah,
If you remember, brother Muhammad, last time we discussed the overall purpose and meaning of life for humanity, right? And we all agreed, according to our belief, Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have not created mankind and jinn except to serve me, worship me, right? That's we believe that's our purpose. We are here, we are being tested. And also, so from that thing we understand that the purpose of humanity is to serve our creator by serving humanity, by serving our planet, by serving the, whatever is out there, right? Uh the Today we're gonna discuss about, okay, if we reach our highest potential as human being by serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the question is what what shape or how that service should be. For example, the way of Maruf serves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could be different, and then the Muhammad, right? Because we believe each human being is born with their unique abilities, unique character, unique story. So instead of putting everyone onto big group, I think that the best thing is to try to look inward, right, and try to understand who we are, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, instead of trying to be a fish trying to climb on a tree, right? If you
mhm,
know we are a fish, if you're good at swimming in the water, maybe we can do that. And the reason we want to do that is, one, understand who we are, is that we can serve better to our creator, right? So to do that, we need to do a bit homework. So this is what we're going to do today, inshallah. So, brother Muhammad, as I said, as I promised last time, so one of the things I've been on this journey, alhamdulillah, for a while, and one of the things I kind of discovered is a Japanese term called Ikigai, right? Um, so Ikigai, it means it's a reason for being, right? So Japanese put a couple of things together to understand, and this is the, to be honest, this is the best of for I came to realize that to understand, to find not only your purpose, what you really care for, but also the things you like, and connect them with a service, something meaningful, and offer as a value and get paid, right? So it's like a close the first circle. That's why I like it. It doesn't always talk about, oh, passion and purpose and forget about, no, it talks about that, but also to connects with the reality, right? We have to live here, how you can
mhm.
make this as a living. So without further ado, let me share what I have here, right? We can discuss that and we'll take it from there, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
As you can see, this is my screen, right? Ikigai, a Japanese concept meaning for reason for a being. So let me explain you first what it is, how I see it, and then you can ask your questions, right? If it makes sense. Bismillah. So as you can see, that there are four big circles, right? Things you love, what you love as a yellow, then what you're good at as a green. At the bottom, what you can be paid for. On the right, I think it's the pink color, pinkish color, what the world needs. And all of this, so the idea is to find the things in your life that ticks a box in all of them, right? In each one. So then you will find something right in the middle, your ikigai, your reason for being, your, in another way, like your way of serving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? That's our purpose as a Muslim, we see. So so those four circles, is it clear for you, right? Things
Yeah,
you
makes
love,
sense.
things you're good at, things you can get paid for, and the world needs. And one of the things I like about this the drawing is that um, they also put some other things in the circle, which explains what happens if you don't hit in the middle. So let me go through this. For example, if you like, so let me explain the other four circles: passion, mission, vocation, profession first, and I will go to the other four elements. Okay, so the things you love and things you're good at, what they're saying is your passion, right? Interesting, isn't it? Your passion is things you're good at and you love. And mission, your mission is what you're good at and the world needs. You see, the mission, like what you want to do. And vocation is things the world needs and you can get paid for. It's called vocation as a job, right? Let's put it this way. You can see that it doesn't include the things you love and good. And profession is what you're good at and be paid for. Sometimes your vocation is a job where you get paid and what leads. It will not become your profession until you are really good at it. This is how you can also look at it, right? That's why we call it professional. You have to be professional, right? It means you have to be good at it. Let's say you may work at a job, but you're not good at it. You can get paid. That's your vocation, not profession. To make the profession, you have to be good at it, right? So this is what all the four things means, right? So here's the thing, which is very crucial. I think some people really miss when they're looking at Ikigai is it's crucial that we check all four boxes, right? If you don't do that, let's see what happens. Let's imagine. Let's talk about the first one. You do what you love. Sorry, you do what you're good at. You can get paid, and it's fixing a real problem world needs. If that happens, look at the top one, right? Look at the bottom one actually. It's gonna be so you are missing the what you love, right? So what happens is you're comfortable, but feeling of emptiness. Can you imagine? You can do good, you're good at, paid for, and the world needs, but you feel empty. Why? Because you're not putting the element you love, right? Does you see the love is missing? As you can see, the love is out of the circle of the love. So let's look at the other one. What if you do things you're good at, get paid for, and the world needs is excitement and complacency, but sense of uncertainty? Because since you're not good at, you're not sure is it the right thing or the wrong thing. You see, the competency comes from the knowledge and experience. Since you're not good at, you're liking that one. I'm talking about the excitement, the right one, right? And now we look at the thing. Let's say, imagine you do things you love, and you're good at, and you can get paid for, but let's say you're not solving a problem, real problem. You're not solving a real problem. You're doing something trivial. And what happens? You feel satisfaction, but feeling of uselessness because you don't feel useful if you don't solve a real problem. Last but not the least is imagine you think you love, you think you're good at, and the world needs, but you cannot be paid for. Sometimes, actually, most of the time it happens as well. Delight and fullness, but no wealth. No wealth means you cannot support your family, you live in a poor state, and it's not a desired state to be in. Even though we're not judging anybody, I also want to like give us the risk. But our job is not to stay in that state, right? Giving hand is better than the taking one, right? Uh, so so that is the full explanation of the Ikigai. Does it make sense?
Yeah, mashallah. I was looking at it. Jazakallah khair for going through that. Initially, I was thinking that there were two things that intersect one another, like what are you good at and what can you be paid for that equals profession. But I didn't realize that there could be three intersecting lines. So what you can be paid for, what you're good at, and what you love, all of that turns into satisfaction but feeling of uselessness. I thought that was, subhanAllah, very fascinating. Um,
So that's why it's so crucial, right? We understand and we try to come up with a thing that connects all of the dots. It's very crucial, right? And only when we do that, that's what I'm saying. When you check all the boxes, then you say, okay, that's the thing I want to do. And out of all of this, what's really crucial, number one thing is to really get to know what you really, really love. I will tell you why. Because you cannot fake love, right? What I mean is if you do all of these things, but if you took the things you love, you don't love, like I have to say, okay, you have to love it, right? You cannot. Human nature doesn't work like you have to. Okay, I'm gonna start loving it. You just love or don't, right? Sometimes it develops, but the love is very crucial. But I can tell you this: if you know what you really love, if you're really patient and persevering, you can get good at it, right? You can get good at it, and if you can get good at it, and we can actually find a problem through your love to fix a problem that the real world needs. Actually, I can tell you as well, we could even find a way, inshallah, ways to get paid for that as well. But love is the first and the most important element in this equation. You have to know what you really, really love. You can do even hours and hours without someone is paying you. It is a state of flow. You keep on doing it even you you forget the time and space. So that's very crucial. So having said that, Alhamdulillah, I also give you a little homework, and Alhamdulillah, you did it. I saw that you completed that. So let's go through that and let's try to see if you can find your Ikigai, inshallah.
Sure thing. Alhamdulillah. So let
Go
me,
ahead and share your screen.
yeah, here we are. So the way I'll maybe give you the breakdown as to how I
Can you
went.
zoom in? Can you zoom in a little bit so people who are watching this inshallah can see as well? If you
See,
do, yeah.
okay. Let me look 1 second.
Yep, you can
Zoom
do
in
from
with
the
this. I
browser.
can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep on going. Yep, that's good.
All
One
right,
down
better.
probably. One down probably because people can see the yeah.
Is that
Alhamdulillah.
good? Okay. So Jazakallah khair, brother Maruf. Yeah, mashallah. The Ikigai formula is a very interesting. I'm always fascinated with Japanese culture, just in general. And so when I saw this, I was pretty stoked to learn about that. And so I distilled down to things I love, generally speaking. So I was, with Kalam, it's all about communication. I'm always fascinated and just engrossed in the whole art and science of communication. And
Okay.
trying to distill it down, storytelling. Growing up, I used to love reading Goosebumps, and just well-told stories is something captivating. Competitions in different contexts, I always found that to be intriguing as well. Because in my
Are you
mind,
competitive? Are you a competitive person?
in a way, in a healthy way, not like
Okay.
do or die, but like the
Okay.
idea, where I got, if I can go on a tangent for a moment about this, there's this anime called One Piece. And I
Okay.
remember that you're familiar with One Piece by any chance, or
No,
no?
no, no.
So there's this anime called One Piece, and I remember reading up, like, sometimes in the physical, manga, they they have interviews with the actual the creator of this series. And what he did was he said, how did he get started in this whole world of anime? Was that he participated in competitions. And his mindset was this. He was saying, look, if I compete in a competition, I can win, and that's great because then I can win and get more opportunities. And even if I lose, I still have already upgraded my skill set. So either way, I had a win-win.
That's the growth mindset.
And I was like, that from that perspective, that means no matter what I compete in, even if I'm competing in basketball, in sport, whatever, like either in competitions, either way, I say I'm walking away with something. So that's what I always found fascinating. So that's what I genuinely love. But some people, if they're like, I need that gold medal and at all
Otherwise,
costs,
my life is miserable.
then I'm like, you know what, it is what it is. So that's that. Learning new skills. I always get like, you level up, you feel good. Reading books. It doesn't, like, for a number of
Yeah, I think
different
this is
genres.
reading books and skills. It's about the growth. Growth need,
Right.
huh? Yeah, yeah, mashallah.
Exactly.
Learning.
Working out, when you love that feeling. For those of you who feel the burn, it's painful, but then when you're done and you get to eat, oh man, it feels amazing. And lastly, I thought about it, like video games. Growing
Okay.
up, I used to play a lot of Nintendo 64, favorite console. When I went on my teenage years, played PlayStation 2. Oh man, those were the times. And so you'll see actually when I discovered something about myself as I go through this. Maybe, just maybe, this element of video games that was dormant for so long could possibly reawaken in a new way.
Okay.
So, in terms of, if I was to summarize, at least in my initial part, like this would be my ikigai. Like I was thinking this would be the check mark part. So, what am I good at? Hamza, I put in the time.
Before you go to things you're good at, let me ask a question.
Sure,
Like
sure.
you mentioned the video games you used to play. Do you still play or used to play? Because you put things because you love because you used to do that.
Yeah. So, but what? No, I don't physically, like, I don't actually play, but what I do keep up with the latest news and things of that nature. So, like,
Okay. Okay.
indirectly. So I don't have
It's
time
like
to
your
like
like secondhand hobby or something.
secondhand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the line.
I want to go back. I want to go back and think about those moments because when I'm talking video games, like I love video games as well. The reason I used to play when I was a kid, I remember, and in where I come from, we didn't have Nintendo. We have the cheaper versions. I think it was too expensive for us. I remember Super Mario, if you remember,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. There you go.
Super Mario and all the stuff. So I want to go back to that moment and think that when you play the game, right? That's what I said,
Yeah.
you are in a different world, right? Your perception changes. You're in that gaming world, and you forget time and space, don't you?
Yeah.
Like you keep playing. So what I'm saying is that imagine that moment. The reason I'm bringing you back to is that the thing we're gonna choose, the ikigai, right? If you do the right thing, it's gonna be like that, right? You look at the world It's a game in a good way. Because so many people say, "Oh, look at the life seriously. It's not a game. Don't take it." I'm not talking in a naive or a very childish way. I'm looking at it like, imagine if you all looked at the life as a game,
Right.
right? And what would happen? We would say failing would be okay, right? Look at Mario. How many times did we fail before we end the level? We did end up finishing the level anyway. That's one of the things I like about games is that they will teach you failure is okay, because failure is not a person, it's just an event in time, point in time and space. If you try, if you keep jumping, if you keep doing your skills as a Mario, eventually you will go all the challenges, you go to this, finish and get your princess. Like, I'm just giving you like metaphor.
Yeah.
That's what it is about life. But what we do in life is like, no, I don't want to try. We don't tell it like this, but in our head, it's like this. I want to play safe. I want to stay in this place. I want to keep jumping. I want to keep leveling up, right? That's what I'm thinking. We have to look at the life as a game, right? That's a very good, beautiful metaphor. And I just want us to keep in mind, whatever we choose, let's look at the life as our challenge, as a game. Like end goal for us is going to be inshallah Jannah, see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we have to look at the life in that different thing. Don't take life too seriously and so afraid that are even taking action. You're getting stuck whatever you are, and you don't want to move, and you think that everything is going to be static. But reality is that nothing is going to wait for you. That the change is happening right now. It will keep happen, if you move or not. The only way is to move forward. The only constant thing is a change. You embrace it, or you just stick where you are, get stuck, and eventually die. I know it's
Yeah.
it's a bit dramatic, but
Oh
that's the way it is.
no, I got you. Like small. Speaking of which, for anyone interested, there is a TEDx talk that describes exactly what you're talking about. It's called the Super Mario effect.
Okay.
And yeah, it's
So there you
exactly what
go.
he's
There you
talking
go.
about. So yeah, maybe if we have a moment, I can share it with like down the line for folks. It's called like the Super Mario effect TEDx.
Sure.
Exactly what you're describing. The guy, what he was talking about is all, or you know what, just to make sure I have it at least on the screen so that way people
Sure.
can see it.
That'll be good.
YouTube Super Mario effect. You'll
Okay.
check it out. This is exactly it.
Oh,
Treating
mashallah.
to learning, and this guy basically describes what you're just talking about. He goes into the whole idea. Whoop, whoop, whoop. He goes into the whole. Wait. Okay, so he goes into the whole
This is ad, I
concept
guess.
of
Yeah.
it. And is this the Mario you're talking about? Just to be aware.
That guy is very famous. He's a very famous
Yep, Mark, YouTuber, right?
YouTuber.
Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. Mark Rober, that's him.
Yeah.
So
Because I know him because my kids watch some of his. Like, he does scientific things.
you got it. And so essentially, this is a phenomenal. I highly recommend folks just to check this out. This is an opportunity to. It really forces you to look at education in a way that's fun and engaging. So definitely,
Absolutely.
it's exactly what you're talking about. So having
Absolutely.
said that, with video games, that's like, and I guess one last comment on that is, looking back, especially mashallah, someone older, and you look back and you study a bit of psychology, you you don't, it's almost like you're deconstructing how those games do an amazing job with psychology. For instance, with Mario, every time you do something great, like you win, like for me, one of the biggest games I play was Super Mario 64. And every time you accomplish the star, there's always that little jingle, always that little something to say you're
Reward.
accomplished. And
There's a reward.
there's a reward, and always at all times there's like a score. And if you play like Mario Party, there when you're competing with folks. So all in all, when you deconstruct how these games are made, it's not just by accident. Like they do a lot of good stuff, and I'm fascinated with that. So I'm like trying to pick out, okay, what makes Mario so effective? What makes video games so amazing? What makes a good game engaging? And so I was thinking, Spawn, that will lead me to what I found. Now that goes with things I'm good at.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm going to challenge you on the things you're good at. I'm going to ask you if you can tell me at least one thing to prove what you said. Not because I want to be a bit defensive,
yeah,
because I want to make sure it is. Because things you said you want to love, I trust you. Okay. I mean, there's nothing to prove, but things you're good at, you can actually prove. You said public speaking, writing, video making. Can you tell me one thing that proves that you're actually good at public speaking? What would make?
one
Are you a
thing
member
that
of any club? Did you do any events? Like events will come back. I think you said the conferences, but public speaking. Like, how do we know that Muhammad is good at public speaking? So it's not just
Yeah,
speaking.
not so, yeah, you can't be self-proclaimed, right?
Yes,
Alhamdulillah,
yes.
but I would say that there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. Alhamdulillah. I would
Very
simply
fine
say that,
line.
yeah, there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. So if in terms of credentials, I always find like doing is better than just learning. So alhamdulillah, I've been very fortunate to host 2 TEDx, like being the lead organizer for 2 TEDx events, public community, like, Toastmasters comp. If you need a certificate, I got that competent
Okay,
communicator
fair. No, no, no.
status.
All you need is a word. Like you were
Yeah.
mentioning, you've been the Toastmasters. We know it's a public speaking organization, and you said you have certificates there, and you also mentioned TEDx. Like even what you're showing from TEDx as well. So you hosted two TEDx events. That's not a small thing. It's a lot of requires a lot of resources, a lot of
Alhamdulillah.
resourcefulness.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it. Like, all I can say is that once you put in the time, it's like Albert Einstein said it. I think he said it. I think this quote is attributed to him, that he's not smarter than people. He just spends more time on problems than most. That's the only thing. So many people give up at the first sign of discomfort. But in my case, I'm like, yeah, some people, when you say organizing a whole event, it's a big thing. But I'm like, just stick the course, just stay with it. Even it's not pretty behind the scenes, there's a lot of things in the kitchen, but otherwise it's all good.
Okay, you're using 4 things you're good at: public speaking, writing, video making. Okay, we got it. Organizing
And
competitions, TEDx event, we got it. Crafting narratives, stories. Tell me why do you think you're good at it?
alhamdulillah, well, I've been very fortunate to self-publish 2 novellas on
Okay,
Amazon. One is
okay,
called Can't Escape, the other is Street Star. And it's not just my words. Every time I give it or share it with other people, they say like it's been great, and
okay,
not fluff. So that's why I'm
okay,
like, okay, there's some validation there.
okay.
Not
What
saying
about
I'm, yeah.
okay? What about absorbing new information? What makes you think you are good at it?
I guess when I look back at my past and history, whenever someone asks me to learn something new, let's say a new software or a new poster or a new app or things of that nature, I found like Hamza, I've been very fortunate to quickly pick up things. Like, it's not something, it's like, for instance, like Trello, this whole concept of Ikigai, just trying to be that self-starter and trying to absorb that new information.
Okay,
I've been very fortunate to do that.
okay, fair enough. Cool, cool. Let's move on to the. I'm convinced. Let's move on to the third one. Things I can
Uh,
get paid for.
And all right, so things I can get paid for. This is, you look around the market, seeing what's out there. Training, I've seen keynote speeches, consulting. Okay,
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
the consulting world. For storytelling, crafting narratives and editing. Like, this is in the writing world. A lot of people, maybe they need someone to pay to tell stories. Or another big thing is editing. It's hard to edit something
Yep.
from the ground up. Competitions, I've even been approached on a few occasions to say, hey, look, could we pay you to organize this conference? And I'm like, this is an actual thing. There are wedding planners and things like, so
Mhm.
this is a thing. It's
It
not
is. It
just,
is a thing. It's a thing.
and learning new skills. What I can get paid for is like shortcuts and skill building, meaning like teaching, like
Teaching. Okay.
shortcuts. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I wanna share something with you. Is and like this are good. One thing I want to share with you. Open a new tab. I want to do deep dive on this one. I want to go to a new tab and say, um, no, no, yeah. I mean a new
Column, you
browser
mean,
tab.
or
Browser tab. Yeah.
browser
Browser
tab?
tab.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, sure.
And search for. This is one of the things I like about the guy is like Josh Kaufman has the personal MBA. You type personal MBA, just personal MBA, and space types of business. Types of business.
This.
Exactly. Check out the 12 standard forms of value. The reason I want you to learn this and come back to me with more list is that I will tell you. You see, everything you see around the world, any company, whatever it is, they do out of one of these 12 forms. Okay, in the world. That's like let's say like a business
Yeah,
education start a bit early today. So
no worries.
like one of them, but the most common is the product. What is a product? This is a product. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a product. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes digital, right? And then next common thing is a service.
Mhm.
Consulting. What is it? Consulting.
To service.
It's a service. Haircut is a service, right? It's a product you show to service. remember, we are here to serve. That comes from the word service. We always serve it. So that service is not tangible, right? It's intangible. You show to someone. And then shared resources. What is a shared resource?
It says create a durable asset used by many people, then charge for access. Is this like group, like Dropbox, things like that, or?
A Dropbox is a digital product.
Mm,
Dropbox is a digital product, but shared resource could be, let's imagine, it could be a cottage in Canada, right? You have a
oh,
cottage, people will come and rent it, and you keep money, right? It's a shared resource. Look at subscription. What's a subscription business?
offer us a benefit on ongoing
No, no,
basis.
no, no. You know what
Oh, like
subscription?
like Netflix.
Netflix, exactly. Disney Plus, whatever. Ali Huda, or Quranera. These are subscription businesses.
Right.
Resale,
This is like Amazon, right? In a way.
retail, yeah, exactly. On Amazon FBA, people buy from China, they sell it on Amazon, right? Lease. What is a lease? Car
Mm,
lease.
yeah, car lease, right? I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Agency, marketing agency, halal. That's what we do. We help
Yeah.
people. Okay, price for a fee. Audience aggregation. Facebook. They have a lot of audience, and they sell that audience, access to the audience, right?
Right.
Loan.
Money, like bank.
Yep. As Muslims, we don't do riba, but yeah, if you give good loan, but we don't look at the loan. This is one of the things we don't look at the loan as a business, because when it does, it includes interest. So that's why we cannot touch it. But it is a type of business, even though it's not permissible to us
Right.
Muslims, right? If you look at it as a interest based, but it's a type of business. We are learning right now. We are not doing. We are learning, right? It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So it's a huge business for many banks in the West. Option.
Offer the ability.
Option.
I'm just
What
thinking,
is
like, what is this like a
ticket?
contract-based
Movie
thing?
ticket. Movie ticket.
Offer the ability to take a predefined action for a fixed period of time in exchange for a fee.
Movie ticket. You take a movie ticket.
Yeah.
What are you buying? You're buying your seat in future at the cinema for 2-3 hours. That's it.
Oh, okay, right.
If you
It's like
miss it, it's gone. You have to be there at that moment at this place. This is what it is. Insurance, you know the insurance business, right? Car
house or
insurance,
car,
house
yeah.
insurance, yeah. And that's a bit shady space, and we don't want to get into it, but we can learn. And the last one is the capital. The capital
Purchase
is interesting. Inshallah, we will learn. One of the things is like the capital is when you invest, when you put your money into business, right? It could be you invest in a startup, you give them money to support them, and the valuation goes up, it will come back, like our stock investment, right? It's all capital investments. So the reason why I'm sharing it with this right now, a bit too early, is that I want you to go back now, look at the things you have done, not
I'm
today, but
thinking,
yeah, you can think about
right
it.
off the bat, I'm thinking these two.
I know.
That's my only thing. Like
I know your thing, but what I'm saying that now is I want you to go through a lot of this and challenge your mind, come up with more offers if you can. That's why I'm showing you this.
Sure,
Otherwise,
sure.
why would I show you? No, I'm showing is that there are 12 ways to make money. There are actually
Right.
more than 12 ways, but I'm 12 main categories, right? I want you to challenge your way of thinking, because many people don't know this. What I'm talking to you, right? Talking to you about
Yeah.
this. So the reason I'm showing you is that that's very like crucial. Like to understand the business, you have to understand what's made of. That's what business is made of. That's what any company in the world you can put in one of these 12 boxes. Almost any, right? We are defining this why, because we want to understand. We're not just understanding like what we're going through with Muhammad. It's
Yeah.
not, we're not on a journey just, okay, let's figure out the coaching business for Muhammad. No. Do you remember you said when you're playing, right? It may work, it may not, but what you're doing, you are learning, right?
Yeah.
The core fundamentals of business, right? One of them may not work. If the product doesn't work, we have 11 more to go to figure out the business categories and test it out.
Mashallah, makes sense. Yeah. So, or maybe figure out other ways and approaches as to what, like, I can already think of right off the top of my head, like even subscription.
No.
I'm thinking about maybe down the line audience aggregation, the more audience you have. So I'm already thinking about a couple of things.
Sure.
Yeah, probably just, yeah.
Do you remember you were going to do the event like the 30 by 30? It was an option, right? You said, this is a ticket, you can show up at this point. So what I'm saying is that there are a lot of things, right? So what I'm saying is learn this. You don't have to do it right now. You can, let's go back to
Yeah,
your Excel sheet and we can
sure, sure.
explore more. So what I'm saying is 4 is good, but we want to be more, find out more options. And I will tell you why. And we need to find and test it and see how it goes, inshallah.
Sure, sounds good. Jazakallah khairan. So now things the world needs, I think that's the last part. Yeah. So the world essentially we need better communicators in the
Absolutely.
workplace and personal lives, relationships fall apart. So if you know how to get along with others, then you're going to be golden. Storytelling, well-written stories with timeless lessons. It's no
Yep.
surprise why Hollywood is Hollywood. If you're a really good writer, then you're like really valuable.
Yep.
Competitions, more memorable conference experiences that won't, okay, so just to elaborate on this a bit, more memorable conference experiences that won't waste people's time. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation where you get hyped up, you think you're going to be in good shape for a certain conference, but then you realize like it wasn't really what you expected. You didn't get what you paid for, and all in all, the value proposition or what they promised wasn't completely delivered. It kind of droned on and on. Let's just say the networking wasn't very clear cut. So I think the world needs more memorable, especially now with virtual too. In person is slowly getting back, I think, but especially with virtual, now that I've pretty much stuck with virtual at this point, it's really, really crucial to, and it's doable too. Like it's doable and crucial to have more memorable, let's say Zoom calls
Mhm.
in there. And the last thing, what does the world need? Simplified skill building. So many times you're on YouTube searching up how to change a light bulb, and you can get like 20-minute documentaries. People, they need it quick and simple. They don't need something that's, depending of course on what it is. I'm not saying like, Bob the Builder to build a building, but at the same time, it's like, how do you simplify necessary skills? So that was this.
Okay. Sounds good.
All in all.
So I want you to do is that I want to tie back. Tie back is what our job would be now to choose uh, one, or maybe we can combine a couple of them, right?
Right.
To make it even much more powerful. Imagine if you did communication and storytelling into one, right? The two things you already love is better than one thing you love, if it
Right.
makes sense. And then we can put it into Fusion big box, like if it makes sense, like check all the boxes, and we will start with one of them and execute on that, right? And see how it's going to work out for us. Does it make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah, Hamza, like if I was to say, can we, I don't know if I have it like here,
Mhm,
like the Ikigai, this thing, right?
mhm,
This one, right?
mhm.
Marshall, at this point, Hamza, I feel like I'm here, here, and here. I don't mean to jump the gun. Of course, I'm going through the process, but in
Sure,
terms
sure.
of what I love, Hamza, like off the bat, communication. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this. Like it took a long time for me to discover it. It wasn't some easy fix or just, oh, you wake up one day and eureka. But like communicate, just the subtle differences. How do you communicate a message? How do you write an email? How do you send a text? How do you convey? How do you persuade a leader? How do you persuade people under you? How do you persuade people over you? Right. So that I truly love. And alhamdulillah, I'm always a lifelong student with this. I never say I'm a master at this point. But I'm confident to say that I've spent quite a bit more time than most in terms of
Mm.
diving into the whole communication world. So there's validation there. What the world needs, it is there. It's just, and I've seen other places in different contexts where they do pay, where they get paid handsomely
Hold on,
for
hold on.
what
It's
they're.
not about payment. What the world needs is
Oh, right, right,
actually,
right, right.
yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I'm sorry. I mean to say like what the world
Sure.
needs, so that way they're okay, at least acutely aware of it.
Mm.
And I mean to say that as part of it is like what you can get paid for. Right, right. So like it's what the world needs, so they acknowledge that, because I find people, when they say don't vote with your mouth, like vote with your dollars, right? So people, when they put their money where their mouth is,
Mhm.
that's what I meant to say by what the world needs. I kind of got ahead of myself here, because that's the last part. Like, what can you get paid for? Especially with the Muslim world, you try to package it in a way that like intuitively, whenever I have a one-on-one conversation with someone, it makes sense. But all in all, it's like, Hamza, like what I'm good at, what I love, the world definitely needs it. I don't think there's any argument there. It's just how can you package it in a nice way that people
Okay,
will be willing to do it.
okay,
So
fair enough. Fair enough. So that's why I give you actually the homework of like that those 12 values, right? I want you
Right.
to come up with more. So let's go back to the Excel sheet, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Let's do this. Out of this, now let's try to highlight the things we will take in our Ikigai.
This
Okay.
one.
So do it, yeah, do it with a light, yeah, I would say, I mean, don't do the whole, don't do the
Oh, okay.
whole, okay, not yet, because I want you to do one by one. I want you to do with just light green, right? The things you want
Like,
to take.
sure, sure.
Communication, you want to take it on, right? Light green, yeah, that's
This,
okay. That's okay. Storytelling, we need to get it on, right? I mean, there's no conflict of interest. We can do both,
sure.
right?
Just my, yeah. All right. Okay. I'll leave it on the table for now. My
Yeah,
only
yeah, yeah.
concern, I guess, yeah.
Competitions, competition. I'm just thinking, could be connected with this thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Like this can be a subsect, like a subsection of this
I'm
down the
just thinking,
line.
is it a competition or is it a event? Should we look at it as event or competitions?
Well,
For now, let's leave it because I cannot see a direct connection. Learning new
right.
skill. I mean, if you are teaching this, you are teaching someone and learning a new skill, right?
I think they go hand in hand. Like
Yeah,
if I'm
exactly.
learning a new skill, then I can forward that to someone else. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah. And because right now we are looking at the just communications layer, okay?
right,
I'm not.
right.
That's why I'm not including video games or
Yeah, no, it's
working
fine.
out or reading books. Reading books could be part of it. I see it as a learning, right? It could
Right.
be new skill. How do you learn? The books is a channel. Someone learn with their books, someone learn via video, someone with audio. It's just a one
Right.
way. So I would include them as well. Reading books, it will be part of the learning as well, right? Okay. And then the things you're good at. Like out of this, which one we want to tackle?
Well, again, like I would say, like, well, this, like these, if I had like a day in the life like
Okay,
this,
sure.
and this would be one.
And number one, number two, definitely, right?
This one too.
Yeah, because you need to tell a story. Without stories, no marketing.
And I also find this fascinating. I don't know, like the organizing competitions. I genuinely enjoy the whole experience of from A to Z. Like, how do you get people engaged and this and the other
That's what I'm
stuff?
saying. I want you to come up with more like business case studies, right? The way I'm going is that I'm just thinking, will it be applicable? That's what I'm trying to think, like,
Right, right,
because this is a different skill set.
right.
Because what I'm thinking is we're trying to find the one thing, right? Like we will combine all of them and say, okay, what is it you're gonna do? Before you go to things you can get paid for, do the things world needs. Better communicators, definitely.
Yep.
Well written, and number one, number two, definitely. And number three as well. Right? Simplifies number four. That's what I mean. So now you see that there's a pattern. Like the way I'm seeing, I don't know if you're seeing as well, there's a pattern. It's about communication, it's about storytelling, it's about learning new skill, isn't it?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Did you see as well?
I see. Yeah. So
Communication,
communication,
storytelling,
storytelling
a new
skills.
skill. Okay. So out of that, what are we going to choose? Is it going to be consulting, training, keynote speeches? Is it going to be you're going to be editor to someone? Organize,
No.
you see, is organization, competition, conferences, shortcut and skill building. I mean, number four, definitely. That's what we're going to do, right? It's again, number four is definitely maybe number one. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I see. I don't know what you think.
It's just like the thing is, it's not up to me. I guess I can't ask someone to pay for something if they're not like. That's why I was thinking to work backwards. What do people already pay for? What are people willing to spend? And then
That's what
work
I'm saying.
backwards.
So if you go back and do those 12 forms, think about it, learn each
Yeah.
of them and think what are the offers you can do. If you
Yes.
want,
Yes.
it doesn't have to be in one action. We can do the rest of the homework until next time. We
Yeah.
can decide next time we're gonna choose pick one, right?
Oh,
We
okay,
cannot do
right.
all at
I
once.
think maybe this is what it is. I think this is what it is. The
That's what I'm
shortcut to
saying.
skill
Shortcut is
building.
still building.
I think
But
that's what. Yeah. But
but
the
here's the
like.
thing though. How? The
Yeah,
form we figure.
how do you do that through the training?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you do that through the speeches? How do you do that through the consult? I
That's what I'm
think
saying.
I think shortcuts and skill building, and then maybe eventually to accomplish your goals. Like that's the point. Like all in all, is that what's the point if I learn how to, I don't know, fix a tire? That's great. Don't get me wrong,
But what
but
is the end goal?
what's the point of like if I can teach you in like 1 minute how do you fix a tire? That's not it. I think it's just yeah, how do you, so it's always to accomplish your goals maybe, or you know what,
Mhm.
not just your goals, even more specific, like essentially how, this is my thing, how to get along with people. Like I feel like there's so many problems in a way that people just can't get along with others in or at least communicate your ideas, because sometimes there's pushback. I don't know if you heard Brother Maruf, but right now in Ontario it's not very, it's, there's a lot of unrest with the convoy, and I don't know if you just heard right now breaking news that the premier just declared a state of emergency.
Okay. No, no, I haven't heard.
Yeah, so then all in all, so there's all this, oh, okay, so now the question is how can you, all right, you have your point of view, I have my point of view, how can we coexist peacefully, and I can share my, remember like Steve Jobs, one of the things that Steve Jobs has taught me is that he's not run by the best people, but he's run by the best ideas. The ideas win. It's not the person. So how do you remove the person from the idea, and how do you separate all these this negative tension? So
I'm just thinking out loud here. Like, question is how to get along with people. Can we sell this? Can you sell this?
yeah,
I will teach you how to get along with people. What do you think would people would buy? That's the question.
right. So okay. So then maybe
Because
how do you?
from my experience about people in general, not only Muslims in general, there are people, there are things people need, and there are things people want.
Maybe seen as confident.
So
I
here's
remember.
the thing,
Yeah.
brother Muhammad, right? There are things people need, and there are things people want. Here's the key. Even though people need what they need, but they buy what they want.
Hmm.
And the key in marketing has been always is selling them what they want and packaging what they need inside it. Just pay
Oh.
attention to what I'm saying.
Yeah. So wait. Let me write it
If you
down
do
here.
not figure this out, you will be doing your offer based what you need. You will not sell much.
Selling what people want, but packaging what they need inside it.
Yep.
It's almost like, correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like, you know, the magic bullets, like you people, your kids hate vegetables, but you have the fruits and then you stuff a vegetable inside it so they don't notice it,
I
or
don't
that.
know. I don't know. But I get your point. But this is exactly what it is. Like people buy what they want, not what they need.
Hmm.
If people needed what they needed, they would buy just a simple phone, who can make you call. No, people buy smartphones, iPhone, Android, whatever. Why? They want things, right?
Hmm. It's almost like, again, you have a pill inside of a cake, I guess. You have the cake, but what you need is the is this, yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you try to sell, like, get along with people, say, yeah, I
Uh,
get along with people. I don't
I'm
care.
on.
You know what I mean? But if you
Right.
go back and say, what do people want? What do people want?
Gotcha. That's
Right?
mashallah. There you go. So instead of how to get along with, okay, so I'm still leaving this here as just as a
I know.
thought
That's we are
process, but like,
brainstorming. What I'm saying is
right,
that
right.
the offer
So
should be so good, right?
yeah. So what do people want? They want to be seen as confident. They want to be heard, want to be heard.
Hmm.
They want to be,
Understood. They want to
want
be
to be
accepted,
understood, want to be accepted, want
and
to
they
be
want
popular.
to. Yeah, they want to be, yeah, popular. Yeah, as a part of it, but also they also want other people take their ideas seriously, and they want to influence people. If you want to not, right? You want to get push their ideas, or it could be push, it
Yeah.
could be inspire, whatever you call them,
So
right?
it's not, yeah, so it's not like you're in a boardroom and I pitch an idea, then suddenly, okay, yeah, we'll talk about it and it's never seen again. All right, yeah.
Imagine like a subtitle: How to get anything you want in life. with this skill? Like you don't have to
Yeah.
tell what the skill is. I'm just giving you an idea how to
Yeah.
get anything you want in life with this skill in 30 days or something. I'm just giving you a
You
formula,
know
right?
what? Yeah, that's amazing. You know what? I just thought of something out loud. This is, I tried the communication boost. What if I did something called like communication shortcuts?
It could be,
That could
but
be a,
because here's the thing though, I don't want to sell it as a communication because the way you use a communication, people already have the understanding what
oh, okay,
communication is.
gotcha. So
Because instead, I want to redefine it, but
life
give it to the ones.
shortcuts.
Like don't focus what you're selling. Focus on what people want. What do people want? Ultimately, like that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How to get anything in life? Because remember, I think there was this one mentor from what is called Zig Ziglar. He used to say,
Yeah.
you can get anything you want in life as long as you are willing to. There was what was he used to say? As long as you are going to give, I think, if I remember correctly, if as long as you are going to
You get
give,
anything in life, you give other people what they want, something in
yeah,
a way.
something like this. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, somewhere along the lines where we can say how to get anything in life with this skill, I'm going to teach you in next month or three
Right.
months. Like imagine what you're actually doing in communication is like trying to teaching them get whatever they want in life, right? Do you
It's
want to
all
get a
about
better job? Do you want to
yeah, it's
get a
about
better salary? They want to get a better life. They want a better communication with their spouses or kids. That's what they want.
it's
And
like it's persuasion. That's what it is. How
it
do I
is
persuade
persuasion. It
someone?
is
Like,
persuasion. Like if you know your way communication. If you can know your way communicate, you can actually get anything in life. Like look at the diplomats, right? Look at negotiators.
yeah,
That's the skill. And imagine if you had a skill, you can almost get like. But it should be also ethical though. You don't want to say like
yeah,
trick people and
manipulation.
this manipulation. No, that's a very fine line, as you said. That's a very fine line. But there's still a way to do that a proper way by communicating, by being open, by being honest, right? And that is a skill if you want to teach, and that is a skill people are willing to pay. Because that skill for some people mean extra $1,000 per month if you get a better salary, right? That skill
True.
may mean the better life with their spouses. They have more peace, more harmony. And that skill means so many things. You can interpolate from that. And then once we figure that out, then we connect with your main purpose. Imagine the Muhammad, right, is gonna teach that skill to better communicate with the human, Muslims, right? In this case, with themselves to improve their life, their
Right.
relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their relationship with others. But that's what they need, but you don't have to sell that. You just tell them what you want.
Mashallah. I think that was something very powerful right there. Selling, it's very tricky. It's so weird because some people, I guess even then, like selling what people they want versus what they need. Somebody says, I need a new dishwasher. Like I need it. It's broke. So then they're gonna be in the market for a new physical object. But so, at the same time, you have somebody who's has no problem if they're in the they can spend a $10,000 watch, right? That's what they want. They have that luxury. Like maybe they can afford. So it's very finicky. I don't know what to say as far as the human being. I always get mesmerized. How Rasul in the short time that he had, subhanAllah, managed to persuade thousands of people in his ummah in his lifetime. I'm like, this is, if you ask me, that's the greatest skill and honor. Like subhanAllah, how can you convince people from their own accord, their own
He
free
was the
will?
best salesperson.
Man, subhanAllah. So I hear you. Jazakallah khair. That was a good one. Like I felt
I
now I
mean,
have to
in digital like marketing, we have this saying like people do not buy the drill.
mm,
What do they buy?
buy the whole, right? Yeah.
They don't even need a hole. Why do they need a hole? Keep
Ah,
asking.
they the picture frame, I
Yeah,
guess.
they don't even need a frame. What are they after?
The memory, I guess, or
Yeah.
the decoration
And
or
why is
whatever.
that? Why is that? What does it
Yeah,
go?
so it makes you feel good or makes you feel happy or okay,
Love,
mashallah, from that drill all the way down
companionship,
to happy
family,
family.
connection,
Yeah.
love, core need. What is the core
Wow.
need, right? You're going there, but you don't say that, right? Like what I'm saying is that that's the thing. Once you figure out the core need and want, then you take it back from there. Your product, your service is a means to that, towards that bridge. You are a
Right.
bridge. Don't forget that. If you're selling a drill, good luck with that. But if you sell a memory that connects you with your loved ones, it gives them full memories, and that's priceless.
Wow. Mashallah. I'm
Right?
just curious how I'm curious to see how a commercial like that would be made. I'd be fascinated to know how can somebody it's
No,
possible.
imagine it's not about how it will be made. You'll be making that.
Hmm.
You need to make that. You
That
need to,
remind
if you want to
yeah.
sell your product, you need to make that, right?
You know, subhanAllah, brother Maruf, this reminds me, subhanAllah, there's this show. It was called Mad Men. I don't know if you've heard of it
Yeah, yeah.
before.
I
It's
I
like,
watched, I watched them. I mean, it's there are a
do
lot
you
of
know?
things part, but John
Yeah,
Draper.
yeah, Don Draper, right? Do you remember the scene about the carousel? Do you see that like pitch that he made with the carousel?
I don't
Man,
remember.
this it was for I think it was for Kodak.
Okay.
Man, this guy like you're talking about tapping into that memory and tapping into that core need made somebody cry in that meeting because this
Yeah.
guy he went right straight into the heart. Like he wasn't selling a carousel, like he was tapping into a time machine. And I was like,
You
whoa,
know, it just reminds me maybe what we should do. I'm just thinking, and so your homework is that I think when the next session what we're gonna do, inshallah, we're gonna look into now we're gonna look at the human psychology from
awesome.
Islamic perspective. Let's do
Yes.
that. Okay. And also we will combine that, as I told you, like Alhamdulillah, I have certification by the Tony Robbins and I learned what they teach. So let's do this. Let's gonna combine the next session, inshallah, for those viewers as well. Come back and watch. What we're gonna do, we'll take what the modern gurus or whatever are teaching, and on the other hand, we'll bring it from the Islamic perspective. We'll make a mix so to get the best from both worlds. But I prefer the Islamic perspective. So what we will be doing is that we'll try to understand the self, right? Self,
Cool.
human self, based on core needs and wants on different levels, and then try to connect that need with, inshallah, with Brother Muhammad's Ikigai. So we will go back to the core, try to do that, inshallah. That's it. I think we are approaching to the 1 hour mark. This is, Alhamdulillah, it was a good discussion. We had very interesting topics we covered. Brother Muhammad, thank you very much. Inshallah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to see you next time, and I'm so excited what we can come up
Yeah.
and how we can gonna be, inshallah.
Likewise, I'm pretty stoked about next week, you know, as well. Like the comparing and contrasting like Islamic versus modern day psychology. You get to learn like and see the differences in approaches and trying to pick out, inshallah,
Absolutely,
the best of both worlds. So amazing.
absolutely. By say that, we say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. See you next
Wa
Friday.
alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.